Save that. Get back to that later. After we're done here. Uh, what time is it? Almost 2:30. Mhm.
About to catch another flight.
Go,
Apple
go.
bottom make you want to bite. I just want to have a good night. Just want to have a good night. Oh,
Not even a good song. It's not.
if you don't know, now you know. If you broke, then you gotta let them go. You can have any money, mo. Cause when you're boss, you can do what you want. Well, Ray told y'all.
Oh,
Snuggles! Snuggles. Now that's what I've been waiting for. If you people will come on more regular, good. You'll have more people. Listen,
oh, we've been
Snuggles.
rocking every day for like
Snuggles,
a
where have
second.
you been? Hey, Naima. Yeah, y'all in here. Y'all know what's up. Come on through. Come on through. Snuggles, we have been here literally every day this week. And look,
Second 2 days.
we get going and look. Who is that? Is that it is?
So I ain't the Honda. I know.
Is that Gary? What time it is?
It is Kevin.
Right as soon as we started
I
live. We gotta be quick.
Hold up. Let me see what's going on. Let me go ahead.
All right, go ahead. All right, so I'm gonna hubby is handling business. I'm gonna do this.
Oh.
Um, but Snuggles, we have been here every day this week, literally. No, we weren't actually. Let's not lie. We have not been here every day this week. We have been here mostly every day this week, but we did twice yesterday. Where were you then? But y'all, this is good. This is a hot time. We're having Saturday. We're building with a neighbor just pulled up, so we are. My hubby is handling business with him. He so graciously let us hold the chainsaw because, as you all know, two of our trees we manage a campsite property, and two trees literally toppled onto one on his car, one onto just like fell over, barely missed our AC unit and our garden. And so our gracious neighbor does AC unit repair. And he let us hold the chainsaw so he could so we could my husband could chop up some wood. And I say my husband because y'all know I wasn't doing it. So but I'm so happy to see our people in here. Come on, y'all. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Hubby will be right back. He's just doing all the thank yous and everything because we've had it. He's let us hold it since Wednesday. So we've had it since Wednesday. So it's time for it to get on back. But we're having actually who we're getting our new car. It's new to us. It's not a brand new car, but it'll be new to us. We're getting that today, and the person who's giving us that actually they're gonna be coming and helping us. Oh, who is racist? Who is racist? Snuggles, what are you talking about? Peace, king and queen. Why is he racist? Who is racist? Nobody is racist over here. We are not. And our neighbor is a lovely has a lovely is a lovely envelopian Caucasian and has a beautiful Caucasian family, beautiful wife, and well, actually, they're technically not married, but common law they are, and a beautiful son, beautiful family, and they're neighbors, and they're awesome. They are awesome. Like literally, after the storm had knocked down some things, literally came up to our property and just says, "Hey, oh no, the neighbor's not racist." He has to get the he has a couple of other neighbors in our so we stay in a private residence area behind a private complex. So This is y'all, like I said, if you can make it down here or over here, because Snuggles, I think you're still in Tampa, for the camp out cookout weekend, you'll see what we're talking about. It's very hard to describe, but once you see it, it'll make so much sense. It's beautiful. It's a private, like basically, all right, it's a private like subdivision. And then behind that is like campsite properties, and everybody has like their own, like everybody has their own campsite. So imagine, instead of like how we initially intended for us to have our our plantation with our private farms, everybody has their private campsite. So like we have a pond on our campsite. There a little further back, they have like a little river that runs through theirs. And I think next to the neighbor, actually, he has a little, he has like a stream that connects to the river that feeds to the pond here. So it's like, it's amazing because we're all connected in our own way. But at any rate, like, yeah, he saw that we had some issues, and we're the actually premier of the campgrounds. Like our lodge is the one out in the forefront. So he was like, he figured since their power was out, he was like, he figured ours was, because like, ours is like I said, we're on the outskirts of the area. So he came by and did some assessment, and then the next day he came by with his brother, and they like were literally digging in, and helping my husband clear some stuff. And we would have come up with a deal as far as even with the car situation, but in his own way he connected us to that opportunity because the mechanics were, he knew of the mechanic shop. But yeah, and the mechanic actually has some more tools, so he'll be coming by later after the sun goes down. But yeah, just all connected very well. It all connected very well. And uh trust me, my hubby is very upset about losing the car. But again, we met cool neighbors that we never even knew were back there, because y'all, let me tell you, here in this area, it's a private road, and like I said, it's a private area. Um, it's not really very visible from the main road, and when you're going down there, um, it's like these other worlds. And it's very easy to, and I'm kind of familiar with how this operates, because in Florida, in Miami, well, of course, hurricane central. And I remember when hurricane, I believe it was Irma, happened, like you all of these neighbors came out to like support one another, and you never knew that these neighbors existed because everybody goes to work. It's kind of like with COVID, right? When everybody was home and you see people in the grocery store, you forget that people even still lived in the neighborhood, because everybody kind of got caught up so much in their work and so much in going to school, and the rat race, if you will. And so this is the same thing that happened. So we had this big storm on Monday. Literally on Tuesday, we were still without power, and we were waiting for power to get turned on. And up comes this neighbor, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm back here. If you guys need some help." And we're like, "We've never seen you, never met you." And he was like, "Yeah, um, eh, uh, we took some out of town work over the summer because, and that does happen here, especially in Athens, because when school's not in section, it's like there's like people, there's no development, there's no like energy, like there's a real drain of energy. So he had taken out of town work between Tennessee and South Carolina. He was like, "Yeah, I was rarely here, but now I'm here. I'm gonna be here. The school is back in session in 2 weeks." Because that's what he does as well. He does construction also. So again, AC work, again, just right in tune with what my husband does. And he also plays in a band. He has two bands. And so, yeah, they get a lot of work when, of course, students are in town. But when students aren't, they have to do totally kind of their whole construction vibe. So he was like, "Look, I'm here. Let's start hanging out, you know. Let's cook, let's vibe." And it was so crazy how it all really came to fruition because of the fact that we literally had um two females staying on the property. that were working with us that, decided that they needed to start doing some things that brought in some money and immediately, and basically nonprofit work was not one of those things. So they started door dashing, and the other one picked up more hours at her pizza job. And there was no talk about what we were doing with building up this nonprofit. And so when I say there was no talk, there started to be no talk, like just none. They weren't even communicating, or one of them wasn't even communicating anything. The other one was basically giving us messages as the other one received them. So with that being said, the agreement just wasn't really agreeing anymore. And then the storm happens and these trees come down. And we realized, you know what? If these trees come down on this property, on their property, which they had cars and RV and that sort of thing, we're liable. So the one of the estate reps came out and was like, look, we can't cover, hey, what happens, that would have to come out of your pocket if something happens to their vehicles. And we're like, nope, we can't have that. So they literally were just removed. And then this other neighbor pops up, a true neighbor pops up. And when I say a true neighbor, like someone that actually came in with wanting to help and wanting to kind of, be involved, as opposed to just kind of staying and taking advantage of the fact that they're living on this campsite property for free, so they were making the most of it for themselves. They're staying on the campsite property for free, so they're going to work other jobs so they could get another place to go pay for it, if that makes sense. Y'all, we might have to start this later because these men, this is what they do. They're fiddling around. But y'all, what are some questions? I'm glad to kind of be here and chatting it up with y'all, seeing some of my familiar faces, Snuggles and Naima. And Naima, we had a great conversation last night, right? So thank you so much for being a part of that. I was hoping Iron would join us again today because he was on last night and I hadn't seen him for a bit. So what else we have? Y'all, if y'all have not, please go and check out the websites. Let me put those in here. And as always, I'm on the charger, so excuse me. Go check out the websites, pick up a ticket, make some plans to get here for our Labor Day camp out cookout. Especially you guys, if you have been there with me from the beginning, this is a long time coming. This dream is a long time coming. You've been with me through some of my my biggest moments. You were there with me when my cafe outside kitchen opened in East Point, Atlanta. You were there with me when we picked up a second location at the One Stop Shop Barbershop in Tucker, Georgia. And you were there with me when we started the P4R campaign, that is Plantations for Reparations. You were a part of those conversations, whether it was with Brother Bakari, whether it was with Brother William, whether it was with the MX Media Group. You were part of those conversations. And then last but not least, you were there with me when I got married. Wow, right? And now it's been a full year. It's been a full year. And there have been many, many adjustments, if you will, that we've made as a family, as we've made as a couple, but definitely still here and still planning for many more. And then finally, you guys, and some of you, maybe not all of you, but or maybe not a lot of you, but some of you definitely knew the journey that we were on, as we could not come up with the rest of the $225,000 it took to close on that said plantation. And so here we are, and I don't want to say settled. We settled, but here we are. Definitely grateful for this opportunity with managing a campsite and looking to bring, kind of very, spiritually earthy, natural, organic, fun here to this campsite, this area, because I don't think enough of us really appreciate or realize just um, how fun and how fulfilling this type of engagement can be. We, like I said, we have our own pond, uh, beautiful shades. The sunsets and the sunrises here are absolutely indescribable. They're amazing. And when you see that pond so clear and the way it reflects just the sky in the mornings, it's indescribable. It's indescribable. It's a marvelous, marvelous experience. And we're right here in Georgia. We're 2 hours away from Atlanta. We're 3 hours away from South Carolina. Definitely very doable. And from what I hear, people are spending lots of money like on things like Beyonce concerts. Okay, but Beyonce concerts and the whole nine. And here we are right here, very inexpensive. You can camp out or you could just come for the cookout, but that is Labor Day weekend. That is going down Labor Day weekend. That is August 31st through September 3rd. So technically, because Labor Day is September 4th, Monday, September 4th. Technically, you still have that even available. So if you need to use that day to travel back to where you Sunday, if you need the third to still travel back and still do something on Labor Day, or just go back home and just totally relax. That is great. Okay, no, we do not have cabins. We stay in the only cabin on this property. However, Naima, what we do have we have storing space for if you want to do a tent. If there goes my kitty. You guys hold on one moment. I have to get this cat.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait. You take over. I'm gonna let the cat.
I just tried to let the cat in. He won't come in.
He came back over here.
He back over here. Listen, man, this damn cat. Listen, I don't know what she was talking about. Damn that cat. What do you say? It's hot. Crazy, crazy hot.
Come here. Come on.
Hot. All right, somebody put me what she was talking about. Because I don't know what she was talking about. I just came back. Maybe use this opportunity to just kind of switch the subject. But I don't know what she was talking about. Let me see what's going on with these comments. Y'all have cabins. Okay, first of all, let's be very clear about cabins and camping. If you're in a cabin, you are not camping. It's disrespectful and almost blasphemy to call it camping. It's an apartment in the woods when you're in a cabin. Okay? So, now we got no cabins. You got to pitch a tent. This is why it's called camping. Camping. Not cabining. Camping. All right. What type of cat? What type of cat? I don't know what kind of cat it is. It's a cat. I don't know, some cat that wandered around and we fed him and then he never left. Kind of like catnapped him. Oh, okay. Good. That ain't camping. I don't know, I'm kind of out of the loop. I don't know what she was talking about. But I do want to talk about something, though. Damn, it's hot. Listen, I'm from New York. I ain't used to all this heat like this. This heat is crazy down here down south. The heat down south is crazy, especially in Georgia. Now I would imagine it's probably hot. You know what? I was in Daytona. That was some different kind of heat too. That Florida heat. That was different. Now, I've been down south before. Never really lived down south. Just lived there all the time. But this heat is crazy. How do you Southerners deal with this for 60 and 70 years.
The same way y'all deal with the cold.
That's different.
No, it's not.
It's definitely different.
No, it's not.
Sure it is.
No, you can put on. You can stay in and take off your clothes.
All right, you just opened that door.
Yeah.
Like the gust of wind that came through was almost like a slice of heaven.
Yeah, okay, but again, in the cold, you're dealing with shorter days, no sunlight, and then also too, let's talk about okay, heat makes you crazy, but cold makes you depressed. So
who told you that?
It's the truth. This is not like something I'm just fabricating. Cold makes you depressed.
What kind of witchery and sorcery have you been reading about that says that?
No, that's not witchery and sorcery. This is fact. This is why in New York,
who have
several different sources, several medical journals, several studies, surveys. I can tell you even from personal experience, and it's like you were saying this like all surprised, but what do you always say about New York? Okay, and like how that's why you got to get out.
It's soul sucking.
It's soul sucking.
But that ain't the cold weather.
That is the cold weather.
That ain't. I've never been depressed a day in my life.
So what's soul sucking?
Soul sucking?
Yeah.
It's hard being gangster 24/7.
Why do you have to be gangster?
What do you mean? Why?
Why?
You've been in New York. You see what those people are like.
Yeah, but you know what happens? The reason why you have to be that way because of the conditions, and the weather is a part of the conditions that make it so that hey, I have to get what we have to eat because hey, we have to have some type of warmth, some type of shelter, some type of coverage because we can't be out here in these elements, and so that creates a different competitive like tension.
Yeah, but I don't know. What you was talking about?
I was talking about plenty, but I'm just saying. But I'm just saying that the weather does go into that because like when you're in your elements, literally, and also too the reason why I say New York particularly because that element is not something that we are we're akin to. That's not our natural element. Our natural element is not the cold. Our natural element is heat. It is sun. We are sun people,
It can be sunny and cold.
I'm talking about when I'm talking about our African countries traditionally, they're not associated with cool and with the type of weather that New York, Northeast mountainous areas, that type of weather. And so right. So yeah, it's okay to be gangster. It is a different type of heat. But the thing of it is that's what I'm saying. Like that, we are as a people, we're out of our element, and that's what causes us to be more aggressive. It causes us to be more, more, I think, reactive. Because it's just like, hey, you're in an unnatural element to you. And so
okay,
you vibe. Right.
So check this out though,
right? With your people too.
In the heat, I might get a little agitated, like right now, like
That's what I said. Heat makes you crazy, but cold makes you depressed. Like these are actual studies. These are not just something that I'm fabricating or making up. This is actual studies that show like when it's cold weather, your dreams are a whole lot more. They're more violent when it's cold weather. That these are like I said, these are facts. These are not like but I can tell you from my own personal experience. Several.
Okay, so how many people was in this case study?
There's several different
10,
ones.
20, 30, 40, 50, 100?
No, it's hundreds, it's thousands. There are many studies, that show this. That and typically, like I said, we do have it worse because we as melanated people, as people of the sun, we're out of our element when it comes to it. And so that's why we have it.
8?
No, Snuggles.
Oh, that's Snuggles.
Yeah, that's.
I ain't got my glasses on. My bad.
Yeah.
After this, is sunglasses.
He's not from Brooklyn. Yeah.
No, I'm from the Bronx, baby. BX. Ain't all right to be gangster. Nah, it really ain't. It ain't. Listen. It's exhausting being gangster 24/7. It's exhausting being angry all the time. Like, now don't get me wrong. I don't mind being angry. I don't even mind flexing. But like right now, I want to sit out here and I want to spit my sunflower seeds. If I'm being gangster, I can't do that. Besides, you get the little young boy walking past you from the building smoking the mouth or spitting your sunflower seeds. And you know what happens? He ice cream you. And now the law of the jungle dictates that I got to ice cream him back.
Yes, this is exactly why highly melanated people are more violent when it's hot. The agitation is there. And things do escalate. They escalate just like we're putting Alka-Seltzer in hot water as opposed to putting it in cold water. Oh, it's still going to fizz. Pop, fizz. But it's going to do it faster when you put it in the hot water. It dissolves almost immediately. Like it doesn't, when you put it in cold water, you can see it fizzing and you can enjoy the bubbling. When it goes into the hot, it dissolves. And that's it. It just settles, it dissolves, and then but the same thing that goes with I think with people and emotions, like it's over fast too. Like it heats up fast, but it's over fast. That's why they always say wintertime is cuffing season, right? Because it's a slow build, but it's that warmth that'll hold you through the whole winter. But that summer love be quick. It be hot, it be fast, and it be over. It be hot, fast, and it's over just as quickly as it built up.
I was so,
no, actually it didn't. It started in the spring, in March.
Yeah, we met in spring.
Yeah, and then it was May. May is still spring. April and May are still spring. We did not start in the summer. Like we got married in the summertime, but we did not. Our relationship didn't start in the summertime. It started in the spring. But yeah, so I think that
she was a late birthday gift.
Yes, it was the next day, actually after his birthday. Yeah. Oh, so all right. So I'm leading the topic today, and I love this because it's keeping it sexy Saturday. Okay, I'm gonna keep it sexy. So I asked you to describe. No. Should I take mine off? Why would you take yours off?
I'm hot.
I'm hot.
Get a fan.
You get a fan then.
Yeah, but this is like rules of the jungle.
Okay.
She keeps her shirt on.
No, that's not the rule of the jungle. I don't see the lioness walking around with more fur than the male lion actually has more fur than the female. So
he just got a hat.
Okay. At any rate, that's what I said. My name says when I came to Virginia, I thought people was tripping when I saw them if they had shorts on. When I saw them with shorts on. Do not let that woman dictate your house, young man. Remember, you are the lion. Snuggles, I don't know why you trying to. I don't know what you're working on today, but it won't work.
Nah, bro, it won't work,
Snuggles. And Snuggles, like I said,
you try to get me in trouble,
you can definitely your request. That Cash App is still the same. Your request can be made with your Cash App contribution. Absolutely. So I asked because something that I've noticed, on a consistent basis, hubby calls me sweet. And I just want to know what is sweet to him because I just want to know what is sweet. Because the reason why I said this too, and it's very interesting because he could call me sweet and we ain't even did nothing on the day yet. Like it's nothing that I think constitutes sweet or it could be
maybe it's sweet from the day before or something you did the day before.
So I would like to know what that is.
Or maybe I don't know. Or maybe I'm anticipating some sweetness.
So I would like to know what that. I would like to know what that is because, like, I'm very intentional about my words and my wordplay. and I like to be very explicit. And so I'm just like, who is this?
Okay.
Who is this sweet wife?
How about this?
What is this sweet wife doing?
How about this? I'm paying you a compliment. Just accept the compliment instead of trying to dissect.
I don't know how to do that. Like I'm always looking into, like I said, I don't just look at words, I read them.
Okay, this might be a situation where you just overthink.
I don't think so.
I think so.
I don't think so. And I think that in
Okay, so if I say, hey, pretty lady.
Yeah.
Just accept that I call you pretty lady.
I often
But why
do.
am I pretty?
I often
But
do.
okay, it's kind of like the same thing. Just kind of like accept it. It's meant as a compliment to say, hey.
But can I get some of that some of the time? That's what I'm saying. The explicit. Can I get like the definition? Because that's not something that you do. Like, and I like to go deep, and that's not something that you do when it comes to stuff like, you know, especially with wordplay. And I often say that, like, that kind of gets to me that you don't dig. You just kind of, you don't dig. I don't like that.
You don't need me to dig.
I want to dig. I like to go deep.
Listen,
I like to go deep.
I'm not digging a hole. There's no need for me to dig.
It's not digging a hole. I think it's making a deposit. Yeah. Sometimes you dig a hole and make a deposit.
I don't have to dig a hole to make a deposit though.
It goes in deeper when it's the hole dug, when you're making that deposit.
See, Snuggles got words.
That's great. Yeah, I like, but I'm not married to Snuggles.
But what I'm saying, okay, Courtney, you had enough for the sunflower seeds here. Courtney, listen.
Yes.
Again, it's meant as a compliment. I'm complimenting you.
Yeah.
So what I want you to do is accept the compliment.
Okay.
Right? Don't overthink it. Because then you overthink it. I'm like,
but I like,
and not only that, but now this is what happens. Okay. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen.
Okay.
Now I'm my text is gonna be like, okay, now I gotta pick a word that I can freaking explain.
Yeah.
And no.
What do you mean?
Because
no?
now it's not.
But why not? Because that's the way I want it. Why
Listen
not?
to me. Because now it's not gonna be a natural flow.
Okay, but what about the way I would want it? Can I give that some of the time?
It's too hot. I'm too hot. So you want an explanation in the text?
I would love that. You know, I like words.
Okay, so now my text went from like being like this long,
right,
to like this long.
Something that you actually thought through. Absolutely. I don't want it to be just like, you know, at the end of the day, like I don't want it to just be topical. I want it to be something specific to me.
But Courtney, it is specific for you. What are you talking about? I only have one wife.
But I want it to be like, if this message went to somebody else's wife, they'd be like, that ain't me.
How you figure? If I'm saying my wife or Courtney or
no, but I'm saying that if this message went to somebody else's wife, they wouldn't be like, oh, this is just for my husband. Like, I don't want them to be able to do that with the message. I want to be like, this ain't me. Like, what's he talking about? I want it to be something specific.
It is specific. It has your name on it.
Actually, it does not. Those texts do not have my name on it.
Some of them do.
Some of them, yeah.
But if it doesn't have your name on it, it says my wife.
It says my wife, but I'm saying if somebody else's wife picked that up, they're thinking that is from their husband.
No, they're not, because it's not going to be from their husband. It'll be from me. It's like, why is he texting me about his wife?
I'm saying, if they picked it up, if it came through and it was just like my wife, that the message, not the header, the message is not specific to me.
Okay, if I send you 10 texts.
Yeah. Are you saying, okay, so good question. Snuggles, that's what I'm talking about. What's my love language? Tell them.
You doing this?
We are. We are. We
You
keeping
know,
it sexy Saturday.
this is not sexy.
It is to me.
Snuggles, we beefing. I want you to know that. We beefing.
You were just saying Snuggle stole New York words, and now y'all beefing.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's the heat. Now we beefing. It just got hot in here. What's your love language?
Yes.
You know the word thing and the affirmation. And what was the other one? What was the word? What?
You don't remember?
I just told you the word thing and affirmations and what's the other one?
One of them is the same one of yours.
What, touch?
Physical, yes.
No, that's not it.
Yes, it
That's not
is.
the one I'm looking
Yes,
for.
it is. Okay, those are my two love languages. Yes, they are. It
You
is
didn't get one.
what?
When you get one,
I only get one.
you only got one.
No, you don't. You have two. You
What's
have
the other one?
time and physical.
That's not the one I was looking for.
Acts of
But
kindness.
it didn't matter. Listen, what I'm saying is this.
Acts of kindness was number 3.
If I had to sit there
Mm-hmm.
and you know, plan out this whole, you know, text or message, whatever, then it's not natural. It doesn't flow.
That's what I'm telling you, and this is what I often have. This is real. This is why I often have a issue with some things because um what is natural is not what naturally appeals to me. Then that's not. I like to dig. I like to go deep. I like to write. I like to read into
Yeah, but
things.
you want something that's scripted.
I don't want something scripted.
Because that's what that would be.
I don't want something that's scripted.
If you want me to sit there and write, it then like I said, it won't flow freely. It won't be natural.
But Devon, what I'm saying is that what is natural for you is not. That doesn't like pierce
no,
here.
but what I'm saying, okay.
I want to be pierced.
You're not hearing what I'm saying. You're not saying it right. It would be scripted. It's not organic. It's not. You know, look, I get up in the morning. You know, make go to the bathroom, cut a couple. You know, come back to bed, pick up the phone, send you a text. Maybe, you know, a few minutes after, send a text, and if I got to sit there and you know, it may take me like 30, 40 minutes to write this. Because it's not free flowing. It's not organic. It's not natural.
I
just
think
want to go
there are
like, you know,
ways.
I may be reminiscing about the night before.
Okay, then say that. You can say that, and you
But,
know, sometimes you do say that.
okay, this morning. So let's say, you know, Riswell, coffee thing. Okay, so
Yeah.
like recently, like at night, I've been having like these cough attacks. Asthma was kicking in, you know, pollen, whatever. It was some things going on. It was there's quite a few restless nights. So, but I went to the doctor, gave me some stuff, some pills, things like this, and I've been good like the whole week. So far, so good. And you know, so I'm like, hey, you know, hope you rest well, especially since the last few days, you know, there's no cough attack, whatever. Okay, so see, like this message is it's organic. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There was no,
Mhm.
and nobody else's wife can pick that up and say, hey, even though I didn't say your name.
Right. Nobody else can do that with that, and that's true. But like the other day, last week when I asked, what were the times when you felt like I loved you, and you were like, you know, there were times that you didn't mention because you feel like you love me when I make a meal for you, or you know, things like that. So if that's the case,
like
then
when the AC went down, I was in that kitchen. I was sitting in that kitchen.
Right.
But you went in there and you cooked.
Right. So, but that wasn't mentioned in those times. Like we talked about it and it pulled out, but you don't mention it. That's what I'm saying. It would be nice for me to be able for you to say that, you know, without me pulling, like offer it.
So you in there sweating, doing whatever, cooking. Mm-hmm. You know, you say, hey, it was ready. I'm in there. These videos. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm in there. Thank you, baby. Kiss you.
Right.
You know, we may do 4 things we together.
Right. These are all things that you're saying in hindsight, but I would like for you to say this what is happening.
No, but these things are.
I would like for you to say that when it's happening. Hey, Courtney.
I say thank you when it's happening.
You say thank you, but not just what you just said just now. And you should not get agitated when to have to do it or to do it.
No, but I am doing it.
But you do not say that. Like you've never said that. Like this is the first time
I never said thank you.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that you say thank you. I'm talking about all that you just said right now. You've never said that. You've never said, hey, Courtney, you know what? I appreciate the fact that it's hot in here and I don't want to be, I wouldn't want to be in here, but you come in here and you cook for the family, you cook for us. I appreciate that, babe. Thank you. That's different than just saying, thank you. It's a difference. You understand what I'm saying there?
I mean, I understand what you're saying.
It's not the same. It's really not the same. And I'm telling you it's not the same. And especially with my love language being words of affirmation, time, and then thirdly, my top 2 are those. My thirdly are acts of kindness. I'm telling you that's not the same. I want to hear it. I want to hear it. I want to hear it explicitly. I want to hear it specifically. I want to hear that from you as my husband.
Do I have to put it in text?
You don't have to. You can say it. You can say it. But I'm saying when I say it, like with text messages, I can reflect back on them, you know? And I'm thinking about like, even when we first started, you know, for the first 2 months or 3 months, I would delete your text messages every day. So every day it had to be a fresh start. Every day I didn't give you credit for something that wasn't done. They had to be fresh. They had to be fresh. It had to be daily. And you know, it was a way for
really, because I ain't delete none of yours until
I told you this before. It's not a
yeah,
I don't know you're saying
but
really.
No, because that's not what you said.
That is what
you said that you deleting because of distraction, I think it was.
Yeah, because I would scroll back. And that's what I said. I wanted to make sure it was fresh every day. I wanted that feeling fresh every day. I didn't want to go back to something that it was like three days ago and me have to pull from it. I don't want to do that. I want to be able to have it hot every day. And like I say, it's like with sex and with meals. I couldn't say, well, remember I cooked you that good meal 2 weeks ago. So don't do that for me when it comes to like these moments, you know. Put some thought, put some care into it. Because that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
So Snuggle says, in New York City, many men appreciate quality time as a love language due to their busy lifestyles. Taking the time to connect and spend uninterrupted moments together can be a meaningful way. Agreed.
Snuggles, who you got the feel? What's going
on? A meaningful way to show love and appreciation. However, it's important to communicate and understand your partner's individual needs and preferences. Very true. When it comes to love, women from the South often value open and expressive communication. They tend to appreciate verbal affection, open discussions about feelings, and heartfelt expressions of love.
Are you reading this stuff from a book, bro?
Snuggles and I go way back, so I can tell you that he is he's very much, he reminds me very much, and I tell him this as well as my uncle, my very regal uncle. He reminds me very much of him. We go way back. Building emotional connections and conveying affection through words are common elements of their communication style in relationships. This is very true. This is very true to me. And I feel like I feel like off put very often that because no, thank you. No, it's like it's not enough going on in there for me.
And the sunflower seed?
Yeah.
We can talk about that later because you gotta be seeing the same things about the crawfish.
But you can't understand and appreciate that. Oh no, that liquid is so good and succulent. But you can't appreciate that because like you can't eat them. So it's like it's hard to explain it's hard to explain the appeal of them too. No pun intended. But this is what I'm saying. Like what Snuggles is saying is very true, and I feel like you don't like that's the way I am, and I don't. That makes me feel odd. Yeah, I feel like you're like you would just. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like you are interested in that. Like you like the way you respond. Like you feel like, oh, it's overthinking. It's too scripted. It's too. But that's honestly how I'm pierced. That's how it means something to me. That's how.
I mean, because if somebody calls you sweet or pretty or whatever, it's meant as a compliment. I mean, like to try to dissect that. I mean, like it's just a compliment. Just accept the compliment.
Like I said, I like to be talked to explicitly, and so I like to know that these are things that are specific to me. You know, like I like to know they're specific to me.
Okay. It is specific to you because I wrote it specifically for you.
No, when I say specifically to me, I mean like these are, like I said, I like to know like, okay, what makes me sweet? What makes me sweet then? If this is specifically for me, what makes me sweet? So that's just an example. But I mean just in overall and what he's saying about our lemon water and what he's saying about my communication style or our communication styles. I would like more kind of openness to the way I like to receive that, the way that's exhibited, and we very often come back to this conversation, and it's like this is nothing new, but at the same time, it's like at this point, it's like you don't do it because you just don't like to do it, like it's not even about not being used to it. I just think that you just don't like to do it. And that makes me feel like, that doesn't feel good.
What part
of communicating the way I want the communication, like the affirmations, the communication, like I don't think you like to do that. And that does affect me, like that hurts. It does. Because that's the way I like to, that's the way I want to receive. So you can't tell me that it shouldn't when I'm telling you that it does. That's like it hitting somebody. Like when I tell you about unzipping your knees, and you're telling me that don't feel good. That's uncomfortable. And I tell you it don't hurt.
And you're still trying to do it.
Yeah, I like to. But at least I'm admitting that. I'm not telling you. I'm telling you no. But I like to do it. I like the way that feels to me. I like the way it feels.
You want to break my knee.
That
feel good.
That is not breaking your knee.
Breaking it to me.
It is not breaking it.
I feel. Breaking my knee.
This is a part of having open, honest conversations. That feels like that's breaking your knee.
Don't like the feeling.
You don't like the feeling, but is it breaking your knee?
It feels like.
It feels like I'm breaking your knee.
feels like something in there
Okay.
has gone awry,
Okay.
and my knee is not going to work the way it's supposed to work.
Mm.
In turn, which means it's breaking.
Okay. Men often have a hard time with open and expressive communication in relationships, possibly due to societal expectations of strength and the fear of vulnerability.
Bro, what are you?
I think so. I think so. I think so.
Hey, Snuggles.
I think so.
Seriously, bro.
Right. And so this is where I get to.
Coming crazy right now.
However, understanding and creating spaces for them to express themselves can bridge this gap and foster true connection. Agreed. Most women also have a hard time expressing their feelings also. Naima, now that's interesting because from my experience, like in my relationships personally, and I've never been another woman in a different relationship, and I've never been in a woman in a romantic I've never been with a woman in a romantic relationship, even though I have been a woman in romantic relationships. I haven't had as much of a problem as anybody that I've ever been with. When it comes to that, I have had I've had some men that were more open than others, but I have never been with someone that was more open than what I was in a relationship. But I have definitely been with men that were some were more open than other men. But I think that's a good point, especially if you have been a woman that has been in a relationship that it has been hard for you. Yeah. So that makes sense. You said, you have a hard time. The reason why I think with myself personally, why I don't have as hard of a time, because like I tell, my husband all the time, I know what happens if I don't get this stuff out. If I don't get this stuff out, I start to float. I start to float. I start to wonder. I start to justify. And I'm definitely very honest when I say that I start to justify behavior that's very dysfunctional and it's very unhealthy to a monogamous relationship. But if I feel like I'm not being heard, if I'm not being catered to, if I'm not being felt, I start to, I start to look a little different. I start to be a little bit more guarded with my time, and I start making some moves. I start making moves, and that's why I said I know what happens if I'm not. So, for maybe other people, that's not their they say it in the church. That's not their portion. That's not their ministry. It may not be your shortcoming or your weakness, but with me, when I feel like I'm not being engaged with properly, I start to look elsewhere to engage, and I don't. That has taken years of kind of processing and understanding who you are or who I am before you can realize, okay, this is a trigger, and then you start to say, okay, well, I'm not going to act out or I'm not going to do that. But the other part of that is I talk about everything. I can't. I don't keep nothing to myself with how I'm feeling, with how I express myself, because I know what can happen on the other side of me doing it. So, yeah, I know when I do my sprint, I let everything build up, which is not healthy. Exactly. And I'm the type of person, like, I just choose another outlet, and usually my other outlet is it's another person. It's another male. It's another man. It's not going to be I'm not going to just keep it bottled up, but I just will start telling it to somebody who's listening. And then if somebody else is listening and they're feeding back in a different way, then it becomes something different. And like I said, it's definitely not it's not something I want to continue. I want to continue going to as my go-to. I just want to I just want it to be so that I don't have that, but on the interim or on the other side, you may still have those feelings. You've got to let them out, because if you don't let them out, yeah, how we process them, it can be detrimental to the relationship. So. But thank you for sharing that, and thank you again also to Snuggles. I definitely, I think especially as adults, we get stuck into our own ways. And I never really anticipated, like I always during my years of abstinence and celibacy, I wanted to be in another relationship. I wanted to get married again, of course, but I did not think or realize, how much came with being back in another relationship. I thought, it would be, someone that, just had kind of like all of these similar things to me, and we would just kind of continue. But I had really underestimated how much I got used to just caring about my own feelings and my children's feelings for close to a decade. I never had to worry about, how someone else thought and how that influenced me. So being married again has reawakened that a lot. It is important to approach conversations with empathy and open-mindedness, recognizing that different people may have different interpretations and reactions. Yeah, and that's you hit that right on the head, because that's honestly during my time following my divorce and following the last serious relationship I was in. It was about, like I said, it was about 7 years. No, it was about 8 years. No, it was single for 7. Yeah, single for 7, abstinent for 6, abstinent for 7. And so actively listening, seeking clarification, and fostering respectful dialogue can help create a space for understanding diverse
that sounded like a textbook.
Perspectives.
That's just like that stuff sounds like very robotic and textbookish to me.
It may sound like it to you, but that's why I always say, well, say it in your way. So how is it said in your way?
Mm-hmm. I know it would be said like that.
So maybe let's figure it out, how to say it and how to.
Some of this stuff, I'm tuned out. It sounds textbook, like all what he said might be right and exact and right on point, but yeah, I kind of tuned Snuggles out. I mean, no offense, Snuggles. You were alright with me. I was just bullshitting. I said you beefing. You be alright, but yeah. Once you start sounding like a textbook, I tune you out. I don't know why. It just is what it is. When it starts sounding like that, I tune it out. So, and to be quite honest, I think there's a lot of guys like me. When things like this start sounding like a textbook, and real, I just like it's like, all right, whatever.
You know what? That may be true, but there are also a lot of guys that are willing to hear and to be receptive to what's being said.
Probably is. I'm not saying it's not, but I'm just saying, like I'm talking about me personally.
Okay. So when you say it's like you personally, then you don't have to mention nobody else. If you're talking about you.
Okay.
It's you.
But yeah, it just don't sound like a textbook. Go ahead, finish.
He said, we would like you to tell us more about your husband without him saying anything. More about him, like what?
I just seen it the last 5 minutes.
Yeah. More like what? I was saying the other on our we were on Brother Palmetto's show. It was about a week or two after our 1 year anniversary. And I was just trying to say what I've learned from being married thus far again, you know. What do you respect about your husband? Oh, wow, he's incredibly resourceful, very much clutch. Um, you said Ben? Oh, he says he is not offended. What made you internally tell yourself that he is your husband before he became your husband? You know what happened? Okay, this is a great question. Snuggles, this is a great question. All right, so what I respect about my husband is that he's very clutch. He's very resourceful. Like he likes to figure out, how to get it done. He's not a kind of he's not a sit backer. He is not a bench rider, so to speak. He gets in the field, he wants to play. So what made me internalize to myself that he was my husband before he became my husband. So what happened was we were usually like talking every day. But he would we would have, of course, more conversations like kind of at night, that sort of thing. And I was used to kind of talking like all night to him. And it was very, very new again, because at this point I hadn't dated anybody in a couple of months, but I hadn't been serious with anybody, of course, in years. And of course I met him, of course, during my season of celibacy, of abstinence. And we would be talking on the phone at night, and I was just getting used to that again. And this came as a surprise to me because usually I don't like talking on the phone. But of course, I yielded to the fact that he was in New York at the time. So talking on the phone was like our only option. It wasn't like, we could see each other every other day or whatnot. And so what the next part of that was this day he went cold, and it was like no conversation at all. And it was approaching nighttime, and I still hadn't heard from him. No, it wasn't for that. It was like it was late afternoon, and I still hadn't heard from him. And so I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was like, "Hey, I haven't heard from him, in a few hours, and I just don't know what's going on." And she was like, "Well, how, like a few?" I said, "I haven't heard from him in a few." On a charger. I said, "I haven't heard from him in a few. So what is that? So what's going on?" Okay. Okay, good. And so I said, "Well, it's been a few hours." And she was like, "Oh, girl, well, give it a couple of more, give it at least a day." And in my head, I'm thinking, I ain't giving this no day. Like, we talk every day. If we ain't talking a day, then that means he just probably, he's with somebody else, and I don't have time for that. Like, I don't want to be like, the person that you pick up with when your other girl won't pick up. Like, I'm really big on just being like your only one. And so he ended up texting me literally right after I text her, like maybe like an hour after. And he was like, "Hey, he was in the hospital and he was getting this surgery done. He had gone in for just a checkup." And then I remembered him telling me that he was going in for a checkup and he was going in for something light. And he said they ended up, needing to do this kind of reparative surgery. And I was like, "Oh, okay. All right, this is crazy." So after, like, we were talking every day while he was in the hospital. But then when he got out of the hospital, like, it was like things kind of, they were cool. They were kind of cooled down. And I kind of expected, since he had just got out of the hospital, he wasn't going to be doing any, he wasn't going to be coming down to visit. He was going to be recuperating and rehabbing. So what happened was, it was that Sunday. And it was the Sunday after his surgery. It was about a week it was about a week after his surgery. Yeah, it was the following Sunday. And I was at I was doing campaigning for Claim Malcolm X Day. Actually, I was at the market with the same person who I was on the phone with that time, and she was asking about him as well. She was like, hey, what's going on with you and Bus? And I was like, oh, girl, he had the surgery. And I kind of just don't think anything is going on with us. Like, I think that we're just like, we're probably just going to be friends or whatever. Because in my head, I'm thinking, he's in New York, he's recuperating. Somebody else is, he's not under. He's under his bed. And so I said, oh, he's probably, somebody's playing nurse. That's the way I felt. I was like, somebody's playing nurse to him. He's probably just, we're not gonna really be doing anything as far as relationship wise. He's probably, getting it back in, and he's gonna be getting adjusted. Somebody's bringing him some plates. Somebody's, somebody's fluffing his pillows, that sort of thing. And so literally I was telling her that. And about 20 minutes, once again, like she's always been kind of like a good luck charm, I guess, when it comes to this thing. So about 20 minutes after literally me telling her that, he called and he was like, hey, where are you? Or I texted him, he's like, can I call you later? And I was like, call me later. Yeah, whatever. Sure, do that. Or he texted me and he asked me where I was. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be busy for a minute. He's like, okay, well, can I call you later? And I was like, yeah, like that was weird. And so then he asked me where I was. And I was like, oh, I'm at the New Black Wall Street Market. We're doing that. We're doing promotions for Claim Malcolm X Day. So this was May. And he literally, he pulled up. He pulled up. And I knew from that moment when he pulled up, I was like, he's serious. He's serious. He's my man. But husband, I knew when I first brought him to the plantation. So that was literally about a week after. It was a week after that day, a week after that Sunday. So it was the 20. No, you pulled up on a Sunday and we went on a Sunday. It was a week. No, you didn't. It was a Sunday at the market. Positive. Yeah. Positive. And he came to them and he spent the night on Malcolm X night, which was great because that was really fun. And it was so different because literally the year before, my Claim Malcolm X night had been kind of disappointing. And so I was like, I was hoping that the Claim Malcolm X night would end differently, and it did the following year. When a husband has a stoic mindset, personality, it can impact his wife in several ways. Very true, and it does, and that's what I kind of like tell him that it has it's affected me in ways that I didn't plan for because I've never been with someone that has been like this, like just so so stoic and so I guess headstrong. Most of the men that I've been with have been like, if they were just like, some of them were not willing. Like, don't get me wrong, some of them were just simply not willing and having the conversations, and a couple have just been like, they're like, it's whatever. They had no capability to, to adjust. And I recognize that. And that's the reason why I'm not with them. And so this has been very hard because this is he is someone that I feel has the capability to, but he doesn't have the interest to. And so that's what continues to kind of get me. It may affect emotional support and communication style. My grandma, my good luck charm. When I don't hear from her, my boyfriend, your boyfriend, what? Your boyfriend calls. How long did it take how long did it take to get engaged, or say this is going to my wife? Oh, that's for you. It may affect emotional support and communication style, potentially leading to challenges and emotional connection. Agreed. Agreed, Snuggle. Yeah, we're trying to figure some things out. Yeah, I'm trying to figure some things. We're trying to roll and make some adjustments because it definitely does.
What's the question?
It said, how long did it How long did it take him to get engaged or say this is going to be my wife?
Well, I told my uncle uh, probably weeks before. I guess I was in New York, and anyway, weeks before, told my uncle, "Yeah, I'm gonna marry this one." And the engagement was very short. We knew each other for what, 4 months?
4 months, yes.
4 months. I was in New York. I had got a I'm sorry, I got a little distracted. Um, I was in New York, and I got this. So, oh, they dump trash down here. See, this is the bullshit. I told you it's a fucking dump site down here. It's a dump site. Because he had a four, what's the name? They just went down there and dumped all that bullshit. His trailer was full. It was full of stuff. It was full of stuff. So maybe he just drove back there and dumped it. Anyway, yeah, I got this
He said, "What type of trash are they dumping? Is biodegradable?" Most of it is like appliances. Like
Yeah.
there's an old restaurant back here that they're now using for like a warehouse kind of dump site. You know, they'll have like old appliances and whatnot, and it's a huge restaurant, and so or was a huge restaurant. So yeah, it has a lot of appliances back there for the
stuff
most
that
part.
you just can't dump on the side of you.
Yeah.
You can't. You got to call somebody to do it, and then it costs money. But if you got a trailer, you just dump shit back there. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I think I got all off track here. What was I saying? Oh, I got this weird Instagram message. It's not even the first time I got one of those, but I just kind of like delete and keep pushing. So I was telling her about it, and she was like, "See, we got to get right. We got to get in order." And she said something about marriage, and I said, "Oh, we'll do it when I get down there." And I don't know if she thought that was going to be the response. But I can't tell you exactly when I knew. Um, I don't know, it was weeks before. Like I said, I told my uncle, I said, "Nah, I'm marrying this one." He laughed. I told Jay the same thing. Jay laughed. And who was laughing anymore? What is he cutting? I'm sorry, y'all, I'm a little distracted. There's a lot going on over there. And because
Oh, hey. Hey, sis. Yeah, it's been about a year. It's been about a year, actually. Yes, I. It's been. I have been Dos Dos for about a year. We have been Dos Dos. I've been one one part. So we've been married for about a year. We got hitched, as they say, last year on my birthday in July, and now this year. Okay. So yeah, so it has been about a year. We moved to Athens in January. We moved here to close on the plantation. We fell about $200,000 short of closing on it. So we now manage a campsite. Thank you so much. A campsite here. You say your husband is a man of many words. He is what a lion is. He pays attention to the perimeter. This is very true. He is not a man of many words. I think, yeah. Did you mean to say not? That's the difference. That is the difference between men and a woman. When a woman is focused, when a man is focused, the lock on. But women have the ability to multitask. That's why women are better when it comes to nurturing. Snuggles, you're telling me some things. Okay. Thank you so much again. Simplistically Digital. You have a name change too. That wasn't your name before, right? It was not. No, I meant to say he is a man of many words, but it was supposed to be sarcastic. I got it. Yeah. All right. Um, you're very funny, Snuggles. Y'all, we're gonna get out of here soon. It's been more than an hour. We do have a couple of things that we are preparing for. Yeah, just in the YouTube name change, not marital, still single. LOL. Got it. Yeah, you know what's funny is that because I know you and I we chatted for a little bit, and we were chatting during the height of kind of when I was somewhat entertaining dating younger, and that did not end well at all, as you remember. And so yeah, my husband is a little older than myself, so it's it's more appropriate.
Who we talking to?
Simplistically Digital. That wasn't her name before though, but what was it? Yeah. Oh wow, it was like she does engagement with older digitally digital demographics, I guess. And so it was something that was kind of engaging, or something that kind of appealed to that.
Okay.
To that word.
Okay, Snuggles, I talk a lot.
I realize why you are able to stay so bubbly as much as you wanted your man to express to you. You still like the fact that he is stoic and don't talk much. You know what? It's not that I appreciate the opposites. I appreciate the fact the opposites attract, and I appreciate the kind of like the representation that I'm able to give. Nah, like you talk, but it's like it's different. Expression is a different thing. Like you don't talk about like your feelings, like stuff like that. Like, nah, you're not gonna do that. Whereas I am more like expressive.
I talk about my feelings. Mm-mm. You know when I'm mad.
Mad is just one feeling. There are other emotions.
You know when I'm angry.
See, you being funny. That's right. You remember all of that. Yes, you do, honey.
You know when I'm happy.
It did not go well. No, like you don't express that though. Like I mean, you don't verbalize. You don't verbalize a lot.
Yeah, but I smile. I'll crack some jokes.
No, you don't. You always say that you don't smile.
I just smiled like literally like 8 seconds
ago. That's
what
you do, but like I said, start listening and not just kind of responding for the sake of argument. You often brag about the fact that you don't smile in pictures, right?
Yeah, we don't smile in pictures.
Right. And you often brag about the fact that you say gangsters don't dance, we boogie.
Yeah, we boogie.
Okay. So, but when I say these things back to you, say no, like you counter. So be more appreciative or more.
Okay, so what's boogie?
Boogie is still dancing, right? But you still say dance no gangs on dance with Boogie, you know. So wouldn't that still be gangsters are dancing?
Huh?
Yeah,
No, we boogie.
right. And so when I say, oh yeah, you say, oh no, I smile, and I say, yeah, but you always brag about the fact that you don't smile in
In
pictures.
pictures.
In pictures. But again, this is still
But let me ask you this. Do you know when I'm happy?
I know when you're happy, but that's not like verbalized. Just like you said, I know when you're upset. How you verbalize it is a different story, you know. He doesn't, yes, exactly. He doesn't realize he is proving his point because what he deems as expressive, women do not. Exactly. Do you still like to be able to try to pull it out of him? And the fun is in when you have to pull teeth just to get him to talk, but it seems to make you happy when you do that. Some I will say this, it it depends on what the subject matter is. Like I said, some of these conversations they are not comfortable. They're not comfortable. I definitely appreciate it when he's open to them because it makes my job a little easier because I don't feel like I'm always the bad guy when that happens, you know. Because often when we're having these conversations, I feel like I'm the bad guy. And I feel like I'm like what do you call it, Debbie Downer.
I'm saying I'm getting better with it though.
Yeah, and this is what I mean. See, that's another thing that you do. That's another thing that you do. Right, but for you to say I'm getting better with it without acknowledging how detrimental or the where you are, like it's like someone is saying, hey, but I'm getting C's now, and they want you to say, hey, you're getting C's now, but they don't acknowledge the fact that, hey, you were getting an F. You were getting F's.
Yeah, but he was getting F's. Now he getting C's.
Right, but that's one thing they're focusing on, the fact they're getting C's. Let's talk about this F's.
Why?
Okay, because so then that way we can truly address the growth.
But obviously there's been growth if you was getting F's and now you're getting C's.
No, but
so there was wait a second. So there was something that happened in between there, that there was a shift.
Thank you. And this is what I'm saying.
What?
Snuggles just said it, but you're not always a good guy either.
Who, me?
Yeah. Or maybe talking about me, but still.
I never claimed to be the good guy or the bad guy.
No, but this is what I'm saying. When you're saying, oh, let's talk about these C's that I'm getting though. But no, let's talk about, because it's the same thing like with my son. We can recognize, or you can say quickly, but bruh, what about this? When he wants to just talk about, okay, what's happening right now. You don't let him just talk about the plus. You want to remind him of the bullshit. So what I'm saying, do the same thing for yourself.
I'm not understanding.
Like when he be talking about the Riz and the girls and how he got the number on the first day or whatever. But when it came to right now, he ain't got nothing going on. And I didn't want to put my son here on blast. That's not what I want. But I'm just saying, you're quick to say that. Yes, you have. I said, several times.
You got the number, you got whatever, but you ain't pushed the envelope.
Yeah, you're not doing nothing. You're not doing nothing with it. Or you'll say, bruh, like you come on. You do not like you don't say, okay, yeah, that's right. Like you don't let him just ride with the good. You remind him of, nah, you bugging, you ain't pulling, you ain't doing this, you ain't doing that. You remind him of that. But when it comes to you want to just be reminded of these C's you're getting. You don't want to talk about the F's. Like you'll do the exact opposite. So I'm saying what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
But if we talking about,
he was talking about me. No, I'm not saying and I definitely recognize that I'm not. It's not always me being a good guy, but no, it's not always me being a good guy. But I'm able to recognize that I be the bad. I be the one that is bringing up these points, and so I do get like the bad guy. Because it's like I said, I get put on as being like a Debbie Downer. I get put on as being like a Debbie Downer, like, oh, why do you have to kind of bring this up? And I do. And I say, because if I feel like we haven't okay, this is something that he does. And he's out of the room, but he'll be back shortly. He likes to move on. And sometimes moving on doesn't mean we've gotten a solution. Sometimes moving on does not mean we've gotten some healing. Sometimes moving on doesn't even mean that we're in a good space with the fact that, hey, we may not have solutions in this, but hey, we can see where each other are coming from, and okay, hug it out, whatever. We don't even be there, and he'd be like, it's the next day, and we and I'm still here, so what is it? It's like that. Your husband naturally a man of action, and that mindset is forward thinking mindset. Exactly. He is. He is. He's just like, let's just move forward. Let's just move forward. And I'm like a reflective. I'm a Cancer. He's an Aries. I know that no one asked that, but in case you wanted to have that tidbit of information, he is an Aries, and I'm a Cancer. And yeah, we are a little bit more. We'll sit for a minute. We're gonna sit on that pot. We're gonna brood. We're gonna stew. Okay, y'all had some gumbo. Y'all know about it. We are what nothing. I'm just responding to what his job is to remind him. His job is to remind him that's how order works. Your job is maintaining a straight line. I don't want to always have to maintain a straight line. Like, I don't want that to be me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I honestly, when we met, I kind of just wanted to retire. That's what I used to tell him all the time. I just wanted to retire. I just wanted to be like, I've done it. I've done it solo for about 10 years. When it came to this child rearing thing, and when it came to like having to make sure that the household stayed running, and how we gonna eat, what we're gonna eat, where we're gonna eat. I kind of underestimated how much emotional support was needed as children grow. Like my mom used to say, when they're young, they're on your hands. When they're older, they're on your heart. And so that has been an adjustment. Even in itself.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I was just reading the comments, right?
Yeah.
And Snuggles, what do you do for a living, bro? Like it's like
he does financials.
You not like no psychiatrist or something?
He does.
You ain't Dr. Phil's like script writer or something?
Yeah.
Because
yeah, he's in finance.
This kind of stuff is
But I do think, it was some type of clinical background, but I know that he's financing now.
It's got to be, because like nobody, like, again, real textbook like there had to be some kind of training, some kind of something somewhere.
Wait, I think that he did write a book. Snuggles, run yourself down again. I know I'm not gonna put your real name on blast or anything, but I'll take I'll if it's okay, I'll just show my husband some of our exchanges prior to I guess this year, with your ambitions with your family. I know that was something that we often talked about organizing your family with a certain financial structure and setup. And that's why I was telling you that you always reminded me of my uncle. Subsequently, the same uncle that supposedly was the one of the benefactors of my father's will. Yeah. Your husband is supposed to know everything about me. He should have known everything about our changes. Well, he did know in the beginning, because I was telling him how you were very supportive. Yeah, you were invested in a couple of things. I did. But I mean, I never shared any messages. Yes, your father is the one who wrote the books. That's right. But I mean, I've never showed him like messages, like, when our email exchanges, which were great. And all were very, They were nothing that I've been hiding. It's just that, like I said, I think I just gave overviews of people as they would jump into the chat. And then there were some people that I would say, hey, no, I really know this person. I really know this person. Like this person is like who this person is. And I've been proud of that, that I knew, most of the people that come up in these chats, these are not just people that there's a superficial relationship. Like most of the people that I engage with through this channel, they've actually been invested in one way or the other in the progress and the success of my businesses and of my development. And you definitely have been one of those people. So absolutely. Yeah, your father was on who writes the books.
Wait, Snows is the one with the weird name, right? Well, not
yes,
weird,
he don't like it. That's why he has the Snuggles.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I told him about you.
Yeah. See, it's starting to come back now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, like I forget a lot of.
But we've had some great exchanges, and especially when I had WhatsApp. But I no longer have WhatsApp, so that's why I can't even refer back to those. But he said men with forward-thinking mindsets are characterized by the proactive and future-oriented approach to life.
Yeah, I read
they are often innovative, ambitious, and driven to make progress.
That's what made me ask that question. Like it's again, it's textbook like. Like, if I'm describing me, I'm not saying that.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, babe, like, because you always tell me I'm the smartest woman you ever been with. Smartest woman, hands down. It may be a reason why I'm the smartest because this type of stuff is my interest. Like, digging is my interest. Knowledge is my interest. I'm not a superficial.
Yeah, but Courtney,
I'm not a topic. I'm not just learning something because I'm on a job to do it.
Yeah, but you do the textbook thing like you don't do that to me. Like we'll just talk.
Mm-hmm. But it's not about we'll just talk, but that is how I talk because you have even told me. Yeah.
But you don't talk to me like that, is what I'm saying.
But I do talk to you like that. What you said. That's what you said. You literally told me that.
Maybe a couple times.
Right. Yeah, you say that.
But okay, so like say we up in the kitchen. Yeah. And we chopping it up. Mm-hmm. Or we out here, we chopping it up.
Yeah.
We just talk.
But I still do use, and you'll say, that word, what does that mean? Or I'm taking that as a sign of disrespect.
Yeah, I'm joking. But what I'm saying is you'll throw them, ginormous words up in there and they like pump bridge. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, you do.
Since I don't know what that means, I'm gonna just take it as a sign of disrespect.
Right. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is it's like if I'm describing me, I was like, nah, man, we keep pushing. We push forward.
Yeah.
Like, what happened? Nah, let's go. That's it.
Right.
We full speed ahead. When you ain't too deep, what do?
You go deeper. Yeah.
Punch your way through the other side. Period.
Well, yes, I'm saying that, like, yeah, we may talk like that, but I don't talk like that. That's why, what do I always say? Put me in the room. Mm-hmm. That is how I talk. And that's how I prefer to talk.
It don't feel like that, though.
Because you're not intimate with Snuggles. Clearly.
I don't think that has anything.
It has a lot to do with it. You allow it to,
you
entertain the conversation.
You throw a couple of big ass words that I ain't never heard before, or I might have heard and just been like, "Man, he just made that word up." You learn what he loves you, or whatever, and I'll be like, "Oh, what that mean?" And you'll explain, but the conversation won't sound like I'm talking to my therapist. And if it does start doing that, I'll be like, "Yo, like I don't want this to sound like we're in the office."
Yeah, that's what you'll say, but that's what I'm saying. You say that to me pretty consistently.
Yeah, but
you say that to me.
Yeah, but this is different. This is different. I don't know how it's different. It's just different.
It's different.
Woman
because
is
like I said,
different.
there's no intimacy.
I don't.
There's no intimacy
I
there.
don't think that's it.
Yeah, that's. I think that's the
Or
big
maybe
difference.
because maybe it's because I seen the other side too, the monster music side, the 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 jokey stuff, the horrible impersonations of you. Yes, they are horrible. Sorry. They are. Why are you shaking your head? They are. But because I've seen these other things, maybe that's why.
They are. They are.
Well,
they aren't horrible.
Oh, they definitely are.
No. Yeah, but I'm saying that you see these other things, but that makes you more intimate. But that doesn't take away from the fact that this is still like these are still they're still valid points. Whether you want to accept them or not, they're still valid. That's what I'm saying.
What he's saying?
Yeah.
No, I said that.
Yeah.
I said he might be, on point, right, and exact.
Right.
Everything he's saying.
Right. So that's why I'm saying that that's there is not said in the way that you would like to receive them, but that still doesn't change the messenger doesn't change the message. That's the messenger doesn't change the message. So that's it.
We're not doing another one of these today, right? This is just the one today?
Yeah.
Well, I'll see the other one. I'll see that for tomorrow. Okay. I might not be able to come up. I'll come with things every day.
Yeah.
Whose idea was this? Yours or mine?
What idea?
The everyday thing.
That was mine. The Daily Dose of Doss.
Okay. I asked. I didn't know. I just asked. I mean, I did see we had to reignite, right? We need to get back on our movement. How many is it?
What?
On relapse. Took a little vacation. I had to put it all in perspective. And then was back. Relapse. I did this one for you before, right?
Yeah, several times.
Okay. That could be like our theme song, maybe, for a little while.
No.
No?
No.
Just the chorus?
No.
Took a little vacation. Had to put it all in perspective.
No, like
and now I'm back.
I think that this is as we continue to develop this out, like
we back.
No, I think that like that's not I think we need like a song. Like that's not a we song. That's not.
You're saying that's a me song?
It is. It is.
Okay, so what would be a we song?
Not that.
What would be a we song?
I don't know. Like we still have to figure that out, and then I think too, and it's something that we just need to continue to discuss. And it's like it's draining because like I don't really feel like it's draining because I don't really feel like you're going to understand where I'm coming from when I make these when I'm talking about developing a brand, developing a market, and developing like this stuff. Like I feel like you don't really like appreciate what I'm saying when I say like this type of stuff. You just kind of roll your eyes and you make me feel like it's going to be like a okay.
Now I'm confused.
Yeah.
All of this
goes into play. Like when you're talking about let's use a theme song, this is all a part of brand development. And I'm talking about the way I want to approach brand development is not something that you are really. We have to figure that out. I just said that. I said that 2 times.
I know you got some kind of idea what you want.
No, I want something that is like you know, like I said, I want something that is brand worthy of our. It fits. It's in alignment with our energies and with our audience and what we're trying to do. And all of that takes plotting and planning. And this is what I'm saying. Like, you don't really be interested in doing that. And so when I say we got to do it, it's like you blow it off, or you like roll your eyes, like you don't feel like it's necessary. And I'm like, this stuff is necessary. Like, this stuff is stuff. It doesn't just happen. It takes planning. It takes plotting. It takes strategizing.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
I mean, I don't understand. Like,
that's what. Okay, all right. We'll do it. I will do it. But like I said, I just want that same type of interest. That's why, like, when I'm sending you stuff like the couple stuff, like I'm sending that stuff to you, right? I'm sending.
How was that branded?
These are things like you develop like your own pattern. Like, that's branding. Like, that's material. That's content. And so I'm saying, this is the type of stuff I want to do. This is the type, like, that's what I'm sending you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm always like in that mind frame. And I'm saying very rarely, I feel like you're in that mind frame. You're in that mind frame where it's like, oh, okay, let's develop this type of stuff together. And so since you're not in that mind frame, you can come out with relapse of being good for us. When that ain't my energy. That's not my energy.
That was just like, we back. We was gone for a while. Now we back.
I understand what you're saying, but that still is a song. That's like I said, that's still not just that. It still is a song. It still is a part of a, like, that is. It's not independent. The stuff is not independent. Has to be all related.
Oh.
It has to be all a part of the imagery and everything. It's very interesting to people watch humans are different when you guys see them without any filters or their personalities. I think his branding is exactly what he's doing right now. Yeah. But that's not mine. Like, that's not ours. That's his.
Wait, I'm branding right now? I'm so confused.
Right.
I'm confused. This guy doing back there. He's just riding around.
Guys, this has it's been a long time. I'm going to end this live. The interaction between your conversation is the beauty and the magic you both have put together. It's very interesting and wonderful to look at. Thank you, Snuggles. I am going to take a chill, and I guess we're getting ready for another. We're going to be on another podcast later, and we'll continue to.
That's not going to be live though. That's it.
I know it's going to be recorded, but it still is another podcast. All right, but we will still see you back here tomorrow for a daily dose of DOS. And we'll see what we talk about on Sunday. Sunday.
Oh, we can't even go. Well, maybe. Depends.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she said, we got B1 later on the day. So tomorrow we'll do the daily dose, and we still might actually put that out, that conversation.
Yeah.
We'll put that out. So y'all can but that won't be live, so Wait, what?
Oh, we talked about that actually for 2 days.
Yeah,
we talked about that on Monday before the power went out.
Yeah.
And we talked about it on what was it, on Wednesday? Yeah, because the Wi-Fi was out on Thursday. Young man, if you need help, throw your hat in the air. Okay. Yeah.
First of all, my cover does not come off. It will not be the bat signal.
It came off several times already.
You think I'm throwing this thing up in the air? You see that? You don't see that thing glistening? Look, you see that? No, I'm not doing that. Because I guarantee you he didn't get that hat back.
That was part of his uniform. He had many other hats. All right, y'all. Until next time, for your daily dose of DOS, we shall see you soon. Oh, make sure you guys visit the websites. Please, please, please take out a subscription to P4R.today. Village newsletter is $16.19 for the whole year. And you get it straight to your inbox. Just one time a month. No spamming over here. Just one time a month, you get it to your inbox. So make sure you visit the site, check on it, check us out, and all of that good stuff. Okay, here we go. Peace, Snuggles. Peace, Naima. Peace, digitally. Please reach back out to me. Would definitely love to have you on over. If I'm not mistaken, you're still up top. You're still in Maryland. Yes. Digitally creative. All right. Make sure you guys click on the website and come see us. Come see about me.